It's Tuesday night and I'm doing Rob's voice. This is Tuesday comic book school. Uh, uh.
Oh. Um, Hi, everybody. This is Buddy Scalera. And yes, this is Tuesday night, which means it's Comic Book School Live. And you guys have been enjoying this show for almost never. But we're here every Tuesday night chatting, whether you like it or not. And then some of you show up. I was telling my engineer, D. Alley, that we now have fives of fans. And that's actually pretty good for us. I mean, it looks like our subscriptions are up not much, but up. But we're glad you're here. We're totally glad you're here. In fact, Rob Anderson's not here. He's typically our engineer, and he usually cuts me off when I roll on too long. So I'll just ramble tonight. We will have a video clip as produced by A. Rubin. You'll see a little preview of the making of Hyperborea, which is a new comic from Dark Horse Comics. Mike and I will reminisce. I have several check this outs, so Mike might not even need to try to scourge around the house to find something at the last minute. And we have a rebuttal. Somebody didn't like our show last week, and it was actually our engineer, D. Alley, who's going to be coming on and setting us straight. But before that, I'd like to introduce my love interest, my spirit animal, my double rainbow, Mike the Solo.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Mike, you are literally one of the highlights of my week. In fact, when you show up and you're literally wearing a robe, just show them that you have a robe on. Just
I
show
have a
them
robe
you
on.
actually have a robe.
It's
You
actually
are
a robe.
so relaxed. You wear a robe for
All day,
television all day,
all day.
all day. In fact, I think you said that you were so happy that you could be home all the time. This
Yes,
is one of your aspirations, isn't it?
it is. It was fantastic. I mean, the pandemic was terrible, but
Terrible.
it actually allowed me to stay home, never leave the house. Only to do grocery shopping. I didn't have to see people or talk to them. It
This
was
is
it
the
was my dream life.
perfect. I do want to note. Oh, looks like we have some people. D's on. Daryl Adams, welcome, Daryl. And D. Alley Hart. She didn't say she didn't like it. She just said she was
She
like, "This
didn't
is
like
terrible."
it.
I just want to note something. She's the engineer. She can control all the comments all night long. I just want you to know, and you probably have noticed that I'm trying to grow facial hair.
I was going to say that you're very scruffy, which is very uncommon for you.
This is this is if you go back two shows. This is my third week of not shaving.
That would look like my third hour of not shaving.
You can match this by the end of the show. I've told you that. Oh, hey, Rich, how are you? Nice to see you, Rich. I am totally jealous that you can grow facial hair, and I am
Like a
like a
little baby.
I'm like a prepubescent boy. I grew this much when I was a teenager, so I've been trying to grow it out. I thought by now it would look kind of cool. You have cool facial hair.
Well, it's yeah,
Okay.
it's okay. It's all right.
Will you grow a little bit more tonight during the
Yeah,
show?
by this time the show's over, I'll have a full beard.
A full beard. Rich, do you have a full beard? We don't know what Rich looks like, but I want everybody who has a full beard to oh, you can't share photos in the
So
chat.
what are you trying to do? Is it just trying to do the just a big poofy kind of
I
old
have
man
always been
beard?
clean. I've always been clean shaven,
Yeah.
and I do want to say that that's only because I don't grow facial hair. This is the best I can do. Movember, people are like, "Oh, you're gonna do Movember?" I'm like, "I've been trying."
What
The
does the
worst.
wife think and the kids?
My wife hates it. I can grow one in a few days. See that, Rich?
Yep.
Rich can grow one. You can grow one. All right, D and I, we can't grow one. Anyway, Mike, this isn't why people tuned into the show.
It might
They're
be.
not even sure why they tuned into the show, but they tuned into the show to be entertained and informed. Because comic book school is. I am thankful. I have hair here, so I'm thankful for that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd rather have hair there than on the face.
Yeah, I would give up all this hair for an inch of height. That's all. I am standing up. Um, Said that many times in my life. Hey, there's Vince. Hey, Vince, how are you? Nice to
Comic
welcome.
beard.
Comic beard, huh?
Comic beard school.
Comic beard school. Speaking of educational, we have a fantastic little clip today, Mike. A. Rubin, our one of our editors, went out on the streets with a microphone and a camera. None of that's true. He did a Zoom call with Rob Williams, who is a well-known comic book writer, um, and he has written a
Comic book.
Hellboy universe comic book. Yep. And he asked him a little bit. Hey, Marianne. He asked him a little bit. Jared, don't go away, Jared. I got a special thing tonight for you. So we're going to show a clip because he was talking with him about the writing process. Mike, you're interested in the writing process, aren't
I
you?
am. I wish my writing process was good.
Well, I think you're going to find this clip interesting. Let me see if I can find it. So, guys, hang in here. I'm going to show you where you can find this, but get ready. Do the countdown, Mike. Count me down.
From what? Five,
Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Are familiar and who are fans with it, and writing to readers who may be coming to it for the first time?
I think you kind of like it. Writing is structure, right? And sort of what you do, you need certain points along the road to hit. I always find, and you can vary out and you can go, but you've got to know a spine and you've got to know certain. It's a bit like, I think the metaphor is, if you want to drive all the way across America, you get lost with all the choices you could make, and you probably wouldn't find your way. But if you kind of plot your way, going, I need to know, I need to get to this town, and then I need to get to this town, and then I get to this town, eventually you'll get where you're going. So I think with the sort of Hellboy histories things, we looked at certain points we had to hit, and used them as kind of a structural kind of spine to build the entire story around. But then it's our stories from that point on. Then we sort of, just like anything else, you put meat on the bones. You tell your own tales, which are not necessarily dependent on those bits of information. But I think hopefully that way you will, like you say, you'll get both readerships hooked. The long-term fans will see stuff and it'll get them excited. But your bottom line always is, you're telling a story about characters, and you want the reader to care about the fate of those characters. And if you don't do that, then you're lost anyway. So
That was good, huh, Mike?
I like that.
Yeah, he was talking about story structure. So A. Rubin did a nice interview with him. It's pretty long, actually. I'm gonna show you guys where you can find this video. It is going to be so this is sort of Hyperborea. You can find it at Dark Horse Comics, and the long full video is here on Comic Book School. I'll show you where to find it. It's right here. And if you wanted to watch the complete video, you would watch it here. It's actually fairly long. I think it's over 15 or 20 minutes. So he did a really extensive interview with Rob Williams regarding the Sword of Hyperborea. So if we can go back, what do you think of that?
I think it's good. I would listen to that.
Yeah, Rob Williams really dropping a lot of knowledge and information about the creative process, especially, Mike, things that you would know about, like writing for a licensed property, writing when you are not the owner of the property, and how you onboard. I mean, Hellboy's been around for, what, 20 plus years.
Yeah.
How do you just jump on and tell a fresh story? He talks a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, I liked what he said at the end too, about if they don't care about your characters, you're pretty much lost anyway.
You're pretty much lost. So I think that that's a really important thing that our writers need to remember, which is make your characters likable, relatable, and even if you're working within a universe that is well established, you need to find something. Right,
Yeah.
because at a certain point, the readers are like, okay, we don't want to rehash of Hellboy's origin. We want something new and fresh, but we also don't want you to go too far off path.
Exactly. They do that a lot with Batman.
They do that a lot with Batman. Hey, Glenn, nice to see you there.
Hi, Glenn.
Rich is waving again.
Hi, Rich. Hi, Jared.
That'll be the show. We'll just say hi to people. So, Mike, one of the things that we covered last week was our experiences at Wizard. We were talking about the Image Union, and we had a fun show. But after the show, Dee Alley, one of our editors, had some feedback, and I just thought, well, let's give her some time to talk and give the feedback live on the show. What do
Yeah,
you think?
I'd like to hear it because I don't really remember what we were talking about, so it'd be good to rehash.
Yeah, well, she was complimentary to me and really took you down a few notches, so I wanted to come on the show and do that. Hey, Daryl.
As she should.
Hey, it's Siebert. Nice to see you, Siebert. Vince is here. It looks like a whole bunch of people are here. So, Dee, why don't you join us here on the show? Dee Alley is one of our editors and is generally a very easygoing person, but really took me out to task after the show.
Uh-oh.
So I thought, well, if I'm going to be taking a task, he's going to be taking a task with me.
Gotta bring somebody down with you.
Yeah, you're coming. You are going down with me, pal.
You're really building this up, which just kind of proves my point, I think.
Uh-oh.
I'm hyperbolic. What can I tell you?
Right. Sure, that's the phrase for it. So you were talking last week about how you guys went through a lot of abuse as, people working in an industry where, unless you're very, very well established, you kind of take the hits and the knocks of all the other people, right? And I understand that, let's just call it back in the day, which is the phrase you guys both used. I'm not going to pinpoint a time or a place or an industry that things were a little different than they are now. Like, women and minorities had a lot of problems getting up into the higher ranks, all of that stuff that, we try to address today in a lot of different arenas. But one of the things that you said was that you take a lot of abuse, which kind of just struck me as odd. It's like, I find that having worked in a lot of jobs sort of in the low rank, intern sort of areas, like there are people that abuse the privilege of being a tenured person or a person on the managerial staff or whatever. But like, to say that you guys took a lot of abuse kind of struck me as very strange. It was a very harsh word to use for something like that. And I wonder what you meant by it. And if you could kind of explain that, like, when you explained it to me, you said that it was something that you kind of had to, it's a very Gen X thing. You had to go through this period of your life where you were the guy on the low end of the totem pole, and then you had to work your way up or work your way through it to the next stage. And to me, that's not abuse. That's just working the corporate ladder. But I was wondering if you could kind of expand on that.
Well, yes, I guess abuse would be the wrong word. It wasn't like, they took us into the warehouse and beat us with sticks.
Right.
It was more, like you said, of you're not one of the higher ranking people. So, you have to take the steps you need to get there. And it's not always easy. Sometimes you're ignored, you have some good ideas and they're like, we don't care. It's things like that. At least that's what abuse was to me.
Fair.
It wasn't anything, tragic. You weren't getting thrown down the stairs. It was, hey, I want to be a part of this. And they'd be like, you're not there yet. So, don't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely think the word abuse is a charged word. That was the wrong word.
Casually, and I was like, I don't know. I would phrase it, but I'm not phrasing it. So
I think there is solidarity among people at the lower ranks, and I think Mike and I were at those low ranks, and there was definitely that shared experience that felt like you were in boot camp or pledging a fraternity or something. But I think we were not aware. And I think it goes to a wider political issue. We were not aware of what the experiences of women and people of color were in our industry. I don't think we thought about it, right, Mike? I mean,
No.
There's much more awareness now. And I think people are, I think things are better. Let's face it. But at the same time, we were talking about how we would have never even thought to start a union. We just accepted, I think, that we were like, okay, we're going to get the worst jobs. We're going to, be forced to put makeup on and dress in costumes and be photographed.
Yeah.
There was a verbal abuse, neglect. Yeah, Marianne, I think it was definitely, a time when you just accepted it. You wanted to work so much in comics that you would put up with anything.
Yeah.
And I don't think I think we look back on the nice parts about Wizard in early days in comics. But at the time it didn't feel great.
No, I mean, when you're getting paid crappy and you still have to do all the crappy jobs, it's not fun.
Right.
I mean, it is fun, but it's not fun at the same time. But yes, I would say that abuse was the wrong word to use.
Yeah, perhaps ego abuse. There were a lot of big egos.
Yes.
At Wizard, and you would expect that. I mean, Wizard was a wildly successful publication that was changing comics, and one of the reasons they were successful, if you recall, Mike, was they were basically thumbing their nose at the big publishers, at what perceived to be old, but then Wizard was around long enough that they became
Yeah, the
right.
old guy.
They
Right.
became the old
Right.
guard, right? And they were flinging boogers at the big bad giants, and then they became the giants themselves. And yeah, egos got out of control. And I would say
Yes, they
that there
did.
was there were some bad times. We think about the bad times even as good times, but I think anytime you look back, you can colorize something in your rose-colored glasses to look better than it was. But
Right. It's
yeah,
nostalgia glasses, right?
nostalgia glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think to summarize, one of the things that we do have to be careful of, Mike, is not to romanticize, you know, the poor
Abuse.
treatment. Yeah, the poor treatment by people in power, but really respect the fact that this generation has options. We didn't have as many options,
Yeah.
and they can, they can say no. We're not going to deal with this, and I think that's the right thing. I mean, we were locked, right? You had to be in New York, in Rockland County, or close enough in Rockland County or New Jersey to get to the office. People relocated to live there
Yeah.
and put up with a lot, made barely any money, took a vow of poverty practically. I know I did. But that's not necessarily a good thing, and that doesn't necessarily mean people are going to make better comics.
Yeah.
So
I
you know,
just want to make sure that everybody from the audience knew that you guys were not like, oh, we want to go back to the good old days, because you were like, no, they were shit for us then, and we don't want to return to that way. We have more tools now, and that's cool. So it's just
Yeah.
something that I really wanted to acknowledge.
Daryl makes a great point. Sometimes not being heard or having
Yes.
an idea acknowledged is worse than getting beat with a stick, right? Because beat with a stick, you get the physical pain, it's temporary, and it's over, right?
Yeah.
But being ignored, as we certainly were, we had good ideas. There were times where you just couldn't break through that. There was definitely a ceiling at Wizard that we never got through in certain cases.
Yeah. They didn't want
And
to hear it. You could go to them with a good idea and they would give you the placating. Yeah, okay, that's great. We'll think about it. And it would never be thought of again. And it's, it was rude and obnoxious of them to think, oh, just because they're, one of the lower rung people, they can't do anything that we can do. So
Right.
it was annoying.
Yeah, and Vince makes a great point, which is right now the internet has provided a wealth of choices. People
Yeah.
can live. It's decentralized. Publishing is decentralized. A lot of people moved out to California only to find that DC was like, okay, well, never mind.
Have fun.
Did you keep your apartment? Oh, you didn't. Oh, we should have said this might not work out. So anyway, I think people are in charge now, and obviously a lot of it's happened. I don't want to get into the politics of things, but a lot has
Right.
happened for the comic book industry to recognize. It was a very white male industry, and now it's diversified, and it's not something I feel comfortable commenting on. I think it's something that I think, but we're more aware of it now.
Yeah.
Right. We're aware of what it all means. But anyway, Dee, I think the feedback is well taken, and hearing it from somebody like you means a lot to me, not to Mike as much, but to me, it means a lot to hear from you. And we appreciate the feedback. Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
We are grateful. Thanks for coming on. So, Mike,
Yes,
we learned something tonight.
we did, which is very, very strange. Learning things is weird.
Is that what it is? It's an odd feeling. It's a weird
Yes.
feeling. It's like a weird part of your armpit. You felt like you learned something. But I brought a few things, Mike, that I didn't tell you that I brought.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
I have some surprises. So I
Like
saved a
your
lot of
beard.
my Wizard stuff. Glenn Herdling, who's going to be working with us a lot. Here's a two-shot of Glenn first in the office. We used to shoot photo reference. Here's a picture of Glenn, and then here is the reverse shot of how we did that shot. Remember early on, I was doing photo reference, so I was like, I need somebody pulling something, and then Glenn was
Somebody
great.
standing there stupidly.
Yeah, and then we reversed the shot.
And then there was me.
And then there was you. And then Mike, we were writing some comedy stuff, but then you also let me shoot some photo reference of you. That is on the back loading dock. Wait, here's a wide shot so people can get the full. By the way, this is the actual wizard, one of the loading docks. Just so you know, we didn't set that shot up. Like that boulder was there, that dumpster was there. People think like from the office shots, it was so glamorous. Look at it. It's a look at that. Those are some nice pants.
They were nice
Glenn.
pants.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good pants. And you were a good actor, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
I
hope
did
people.
my best.
You
Laying
did
there was very, very easy for me.
Yep. Mariam and Rich like the photos. Would you like to see one or two more, Mike?
Yes, absolutely.
So one of my favorite Wizard had the habit of putting their name on everything, right?
Yeah.
Right. You could put your name on anything. So this one is one of my favorites.
I remember that, and I want one.
As you can see, the blade is actually cutting into my flesh. But what's interesting about this is Jim McLaughlin called this a shiv with a return address. So they distributed these to retailers. They gave these to retailers, and it actually had the Wizard and Inquest phone number, so you could open boxes for if you were in a comic shop. But it was also good for what do they call them, Mike? Rumbles? Is that what they had? Rumbles?
It's good for the rumbles.
They had a rumble and it had a return address, so that was a good
Yep.
one. And then because I throw nothing out, Mike, and my entire house is just jammed with junk, I wanted to show you. That was my Wizard station.
yes.
Do you remember you had Wizard
Yes,
stationery?
we had stationery. That was great. Oh man.
I'm going to take a page of this. When I do my Kickstarter, people will get a page of my stationery. So
With
You-
with a handwritten note.
do you think that'll
Yeah.
make any money?
I think you would definitely make some money somewhere.
How about for the shiv?
Yeah, I know I had one of those, and I can't find it, and I do miss it. I was a big fan of that.
Yeah, I think we should just put on Wizard reminiscent stuff and just
Yeah.
go with it. We should. The comments are blowing up. Oh, Vince wanted to know. This is the photo of abuse. This was Mike getting abused.
That was after the abuse. I had to go recover.
That was good. And Rich approves. Rich.
Abuse of the abuse. Yes.
Yeah, good old knifing action. Let's just show. It's
Uh.
like there you go. Good old knifing action. There you go. So anyway, that was good. I don't know how to take the chat window off. There you go. So Mike, I'm sorry. We were supposed to show the pop in guest. There you go, Erin. We'll pretend that Erin was the pop on guest. Oh, and then we'll pretend that I did the educational moment. When
Well, the
Rob's
whole-
not here, I don't know.
The whole show is educational.
Yeah, I'll just, you know what I'm going to do, Mike, is I'm going to just show all the graphics like this at
The
once,
end.
and then people can just assemble it themselves.
Yeah, show them all at the beginning or the end, and they can
All the
figure it
video,
out.
and then
Yeah.
mix it into the show yourself. We'll give you a knife and you cut it up. All right, so Mike, I have a couple of check this outs tonight. I don't know if you brought any.
I did.
You did?
I brought one.
All right, I have 3. So
Oh.
we'll just do the whole rest of the night with
I'll do
check
a
this outs.
quick one.
All right, so you go first, Mike, and I think D might have had one as well. Show me what you got. You showed this already, didn't you? No.
Did I show Outcast?
No,
I don't
you
think I
didn't
showed
show Outcast. No, I
This
don't
is like the big compiled, complete compendium
Oh,
of
wow.
Outcast.
Is that good?
It's good. Yeah, it's all about demonic possession and some guy who is an outcast because they needed a name for the book. And yeah, it's a good one. Take a look at it.
Did you read that whole thing?
I have not finished it yet, but
So how did you recommend it? What if in the last couple pages it falls apart?
That's true. If the last page is terrible, I'll have to come on and take away my check this out.
And
You know what? Don't read that. I told you to read it. Don't read it anymore.
All right. So speaking of, I haven't read it, but I'm going to recommend this. I'm gonna recommend 2 books. Jared Elvin, who contributed to both of our anthologies and is such a wonderful artist, was nice enough to send me a couple of his comics. I will review them at a later time, but I will tell you, I absolutely love his art. I just think look at how much he puts into every page, Mike.
That's a lot of
So
stuff.
yeah, you can get Jared Elvin's art. Hey D, while you're on there, can you pull up Jared's website. Is that possible for you to do? Because I didn't think to do that ahead during the preparation of the show, which I started about 12 minutes before the actual show.
You were worried too much about the beard.
Yeah, I so anyway, Jared provided these to me. They just got to me the other day, so I have not read them. I'm looking forward to reading them. He does Meat Bucket Mega Babes.
Wow, that's the name.
Meat Bucket Mega Babes, and you can buy these on his website is Micmax, Mick-Max. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. It's Mike Vamp for a minute.
Mick-Max. Yeah, so somebody was asking what I was doing back there in that shot. What was supposed to be happening to Mike? I think that was just one of your photo references.
Oh, it
Or
was
was
one
that
of my
for-
photo references, but
Or was
no,
that
that
for
was
the
the
movie.
comedy sketch. It was for one of the comedy sketches.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was just for whatever reason laying there.
We won't even talk about the comedy sketch, Mike, because it would get us canceled.
Oh,
It was one of the ones that I wrote that right today would get us canceled. Anyway, Jared Elvin, can you see the screen, Mike?
I can. Yes.
Yeah. So Jared does some wonderful work. You can see his web address is mickmax.com. He is located in Australia. Remember we talked about how you think maybe he has that accent?
Crikey. Yeah, was that a good one? Crikey.
Crikey.
Put a
Like
little shit on the bobby.
So definitely, I encourage people to check it out. Great quality print on this too.
Looks good.
It does. I have one more, but Erin, I think you were saying that you had one, and since you had taken time to prepare a check this out, would you like to join us for? Oh, there she is.
Hi. So I finally got my copies of our first anthology printed.
Yay.
So all of those people who are waiting, these are getting shipped out this week. Really nice quality stuff in here. So that's the
Jared
first
loves
one.
it.
And then the second one is I finally got my pirate calendar. For those of you who
Oh yeah, from
know, this
Vince.
is,
That's from
our
Vince,
very
right?
own Vince, who is in the chat. This is his calendar, and it's freaking awesome. He's got these illustrations in here that are just amazing. So,
Vince, put your URL in there while you're doing it.
and it's a really nice. I mean, there's enough space I can write down all of the live header graphics that I have to have done for this show. So, I'm very happy about that.
I am very happy about that as well. Vince, put your URL in the chat, and hold on. I'm going to just put his in there. It's Mickmax with a smiley face. So I don't think it'll open without putting the smiley face in.
Absolutely not.
So Vince, very talented, provided us with
R.
Erin with a R. Okay, so Mike, I have one last check this out. Crikey.
So, hey, somebody called the voicemail or the number on the box cutter.
They did?
Miriam's did, yes. Well, apparently she did. Said the voicemail hasn't been set up yet. Uh-oh. Go straight to a voicemail box. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna get in trouble.
She called the number. Okay, so Mike, I'm more amused by our audience than the show. Okay, so check this out. This is a pretty big deal, Mike.
Okay.
Our community for our first anthology pulled off an unbelievable win. We created an anthology, decentralized, with people, many of them who had never met each other in person, thanks to Erin and Ari and Rich and all the different contributors. We made what I call the miracle drop. That is, we created an amazing anthology, and we won a couple of awards. And nobody's seen this yet, but this is the award that we won from the Content Marketing Institute.
Nice.
We actually won. You can see it there. You can see my microphone. I'll take it out. It's on this weird velvety thing. It's incredibly cool. And I have to tell you, oh, thank you for going full screen. Very, very proud. Everybody who contributed, best use of an ebook, one of our series 4, and you can kind of see it here, Comic Book School.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was a big thing for us. You know, we were like the little crew that could. And, you know, when you do these content marketing awards, I mean, I'm not kidding, because this is a big stuff. You're competing against major brands that are funded. We did this on for free. And we gave people a great experience. That is classy, Andy Siebert, and you contributed. So thanks for your classiness. I think it's pretty amazing, right, Miriam? So Content Marketing Institute, one of the leading, Paul Castiglia. I love Paul. One of the leading manufacturers, one of the leading educational institutions, actually one of the inspirations for Comic Book School. We won this for best ebook.
Thanks. You got to put that in the background so everybody can see it every week.
I can. I have to put something behind it so you can actually see it because it's see-through and it's pretty
Yeah.
heavy actually.
Put the Kiss dolls behind it.
The Kiss dolls. Anyway, I think that's pretty exciting, and I hope everybody who contributed is pretty excited, and I hope that means that more people will contribute to the next anthology. Real quick heads up, Mike, we're going to be starting our next anthology. Our editors will be announcing that soon. Dennis Knight and Rob Anderson. Put it on the shelf with Mike's Emmys. That's right. I have 3 circles. Mike has
I got
3
3
Emmys. Let's pull that up. There you go. There's Mike with his 3 Emmys. In case anybody doesn't know the reference, Mike Fasolo is actually indeed a 3-time Emmy Award-winning television writer for the TV show Robot Chicken. Anyway, Mike, so we're getting ready and getting started with our NFT community. So if people can go to the message boards and check it out, in the main forums, they'll see some really useful information. If you're not yet signed up for the message boards, we encourage you to do so. We're doing some fun stuff. Look at this one, the Monday Motivational Drawing Challenge, 121 replies. This is people sharing their art in real time. So we encourage people to do that. Everybody's working on their art. And we just did an interesting post Super Bowl challenge, Mike, where we told everybody to share a sports related panel with comic books. So people are actually adding that, but I want people to be aware that our crypto and NFT forums are about to get started. We're going to be doing our education around that, and we're going to be adding fairly soon our 3rd challenge, so that if somebody wants to participate in the next anthology and win another award for Comic Book School, now's the time for them to start getting on our message boards.
All right. It's good to know.
That's right. Anything to add before we go, Mike? I think we're just about run over.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add except congratulations.
Thank you so much. Congratulations to the whole. Oh, look at that, Mike! You grew more of a beard. Oh, he was referencing your beard from the other, but your beard is still pretty good tonight. That's a good beard. A good beard. So, anyway, Mike, I'm gonna bump you off. So anyway, thanks to everybody who joins us here live. We do this for you, and because you come here, it's something special for all of us. We hope you keep coming. Please check out our message boards where we will be announcing the next anthology. Oh, yes, the Artist Alley group is getting set up. We're going to be adding a graphic to that, and we will be starting the NFT club very shortly. It'll be free education about how to create NFTs and understand them. It will be a free course. And if you go to the NFT board and just say you want to participate, we'll include you. It'll be a limited class size for this first one. And I hope you enjoyed the video clip with Rob Williams that was created by A.A. Rubin. We're going to be having additional clips just like this coming in the future, and a flashback to our early Comics Vision days when Mike and I were doing a television show on cable access. My name is Buddy Scalera. I'm the founder of Comic Book School, and we are here for the craft and business of making comics, and we hope to see you again next Tuesday night. Bye-bye, everybody.